just happened. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. My neighbors compete to see who can put up more blinding lights. The kids all wish away the month 'cause they want presents in sight. This year had me so mad. I've been bad, got coal that is sitting under my tree. I think that my Christmas has died. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. When I was just a boy, Christmas brought so much joy. Couldn't wait for the presents and laughter. I couldn't sleep late at night, looking for Santa with lights. Those are the memories I still remember. Then I became a man, lost sight of who I am. But right in front of me was the answer. 'Cause on Christmas I feel joy, and I turn back to a boy. The answer is to stay young forever. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song.
CM Punk joins the Bloodline on SmackDown, and we're previewing AEW's Full Gear. It's Wrestling Uncensored time. Let's-a go! Mamma mia. Let's-a go, Johnny North. How are you?
I'm fine right now. I think other people in Montreal might be feeling it a bit right now, but thankfully no problems here so far.
I honestly have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, I sent it to you. There's like riots going on in the street right now. You haven't seen that? Like,
What?
it's like a big protest. Yeah, you didn't
I
see
know
that?
you
There's a
sent
big
me
protest?
something, and I just saw it just as we were going on the air, but I didn't actually check what was that. I didn't click on the link yet. Oh my God, what is
Yeah,
this? Where is
yeah,
this?
downtown. There's some big like protest going down. Sadly,
Oh my
a lot of
God.
cars are getting destroyed, set on fire. It's not too good right now in downtown Montreal.
This is
Sadly,
currently downtown?
yeah. Well, it
They're
may have been hopefully a couple hours ago. Hopefully,
they're rioting. What happened? Why are they rioting? Was there a hockey game?
no hockey. I believe it's about Hamas. If I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know if you want to
find
get
that
into
it's
that.
best not to comment on those issues. I don't offer any comment on that, Johnny. As you know, it's a policy on the Ringside Report Network for Dave not to talk about that. Specifically me. I'm not allowed. I've been told I'm not supposed to say anything. You know, John.
Well, I just want to.
Even you
just
agree
wanna
that
say-
I shouldn't say anything, right? You know.
Oh, I agree. I'm just saying, like, if anyone's wondering, in this area so far, everything's okay. No cars on fire, thankfully.
Wow. That's bad. I hope everybody's safe and sound. I hope everything settles down. Let's have peace. Peace and love, baby. Peace and love. Well, we are here to talk about professional wrestling, Big Johnny, not about riots in the streets, although it is exciting. Exciting talk. I wasn't even aware. See how peaceful it is? One thing could be
Your
happening
area.
in the city in one area, and in another area, you're just quiet. Walk outside, I don't hear a sound. And I'm in the city.
Yeah, well, your area is not always peaceful, unfortunately. There's been some problems in your area sometimes.
It's very quiet.
Well, now it is. I think they've gotten rid of a lot of the issues there before in the past.
Again, I don't know what you're talking about. You're very vague tonight.
Not a bit vague. Like, the history of, like, Verdun, Villamar, like, wasn't exactly the greatest neighborhood in the world a couple years ago. It's gotten better, though.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, where I used to live, it was a little bit more, but where I live now, I walk outside and you don't hear a sound. I could stand outside at like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, and there won't be a single person walking down the street for like 20, 30 minutes. It's so quiet around here. It's oddly
That's
quiet.
good.
I'm not used to it.
Enjoy your wrestling at night. It's good.
I guess. I mean, when you're indoors, doesn't really matter. You could be downtown and still watch wrestling, John. Doesn't really affect me. I think there could be riots on the streets. Ryan Katz distracting me in the chat, just saying New York Mets. Did something happen?
Oh, I hope not. Not for your sake.
He
I don't
didn't
think you
sign
can
or
handle
anything,
that.
right?
I don't think you could handle that, to be honest.
No, Juan Soto has not signed with the Mets. I'm hoping he signs with the Yankees. You better hope he signs with the Red Sox, John. Wouldn't that be crazy?
The way I'm looking at it right now, it's a sweepstakes. I mean, it could happen to a bunch of teams right now. So you just wait and see what happens. No need to speculate. No need to, like, throw possibilities out there. Just wait and see what happens. That's it. I mean, there's going to be stories all the time about it, so just wait and see.
You think it's a sweepstakes for Soto? Like, it's
A lot
going to
of
be
teams involved.
whoever offers him the most money is going to get him? You think that's what it's going to come down to?
Who can offer him the best deal? I don't know if it's all about money, but, the best setup and all that too as well.
Yeah. Because I think the deal that he gets is going to be the same from pretty much every team. He's going to get, I think it was, it's estimated 14 years, $660 million or something like that.
Well, some teams are out now because of that. Like the Royals,
Right.
It's not happening with the Royals.
Right. Some teams are not going to do it, but other teams are, right?
And again, we could speculate, but I mean, we're just going down rabbit holes with this. No point doing that. You're just gonna hurt yourself.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing, John. Like, I just from we'll talk about wrestling in just a second here. Bear with me.
Okay.
But I do have a theory on this, is that I think every team is basically going to offer him the same deal. Like, everybody knows what the money is supposed to be. Everybody knows what it's roughly going to look like as far as years. Every team that's going to be in the running, and I think there'll be 5 to 8 teams that'll offer him that deal, and then it'll be up to him to choose which team he wants to go to. I think everybody's going to offer him the same money, except the Mets, because the owner already said, like, whatever the best deal is, I'll give you $50 million more. But at that point, when you're making $660 million, another $50 million to go to the Mets may or may not sway you, but I doubt it does. So I think he's going to sign with the Yankees. I'm hoping he's going to sign with the Yankees because first year with the Yankees, he went to the World Series. He's going to get the next 10 years to play with Aaron Judge. They're committed to winning. He wants to win. The expectation in New York with the Yankees is to go to the World Series and win every year. That's what the fans expect. That's what the front office goes for. Like, we know the deal. That's a pretty good situation for a player that wants to win, right? If you want to win, I think you look at the Dodgers and the Yankees right now as the two best teams that are going to give you that chance of winning. The Mets, they say they're committed to winning, and they got hot down the stretch, and they made a good playoff run, but are they legit contenders every single year historically? No. And the Yankees, they've been doing pretty well. So I feel like the choice is obvious for Soto, and I think he's going to sign with my Yankees, and it'll be beautiful. And everything will be right, and then we'll sign some more players and spend more money and beat the Dodgers next year in the World Series. Revenge. So
Good luck.
That's the dream.
I have a bit of hope, though. Like, apparently, Boston ownership is going to do the best they can to get Soto. And now, I know you don't care much for him, but Big Papi said he's going to talk to Soto, or he has talked to him. So I think that's in our favor. I think that's going to help a lot. Aaron Judge apparently hasn't talked to him since the season ended, since the playoff run ended. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, I heard the guys on Talking Yanks say that Soto, if he did play in Boston, he could probably break the all-time doubles record. Just hit it off the monster every at-bat and get a double every time, which is possible, right? It wouldn't be a bad move, but I think that ballpark would be really good for his style. Just pop it off the monster because he's so good at. He's just such a great hitter,
Well, isn't Tampa's going to be the
he's a generational talent, man. It's just he's a big deal in baseball, and it's like, who does he sign with?
But isn't Tampa going to have the shortest field though? Because they're going to be at the Yankees spring training field.
But you don't want to sign with Tampa, and I don't think Tampa's even in the running to sign him. They're not spending money.
I'm sure your dad has his fingers crossed right now. So
I think he's realistic.
Probably.
Anyways, we'll see what happens, John. I'm looking forward to Soto signing with the Yankees. I'm hoping he signs. I'm reading a book right now, The Yankee Way. Very interesting read. A lot of great historical knowledge on the Yankees. Great stuff. Great info. Great.
No matter what happens, you're going to have to talk about it because people are going to be all over you if he doesn't sign with them. And if he does sign, you won't stop talking about it. So we're going to hear about this no matter what.
Yeah. People will be all over me if he doesn't sign, right? They're going to just razz
Oh,
me.
yeah.
A lot of razzing.
Probably. Especially if it's on a Thursday, you might see a lot more comments that way, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be rough if he doesn't sign. I'll just be sad. The comments won't really bother me as much as him not playing for the Yankees. And then you're like, what does a team look like? I don't want to get into a whole breakdown of what the Yankees need and the third base situation, the fact we don't have a first baseman right now. I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about wrestling. This is not the Yankees talk. It's on my mind constantly, but, Dave Simon. That keeps popping up. I'm not sure why, but it's going to continue, John.
Because we don't have the icons actually on the screen right now, so I don't know if maybe someone's trying to fix it or something.
Oh. Hang on. Let me see something.
Hey, there's just me. That's awesome. Yeah. Me flexing too. Oh, no, I'm not going to flex now. It's too small.
Go back. Flex.
There we go. Da-da-da. Hogan style.
Wow.
Da-da.
Wow.
See, this is good
Oof.
for YouTube. Podcasts, you're not getting much, unfortunately.
You are looking jacked, baby.
I'm okay. Not too bad. I mean, you're looking like a lot like Fred these days, but it's okay.
What do you mean a lot like Fred?
You're lacking that tan. Like, you're very pale.
You look paler than I do, brother.
Yeah, but like when I'm in the ring, I'm very red, so.
You're red, but I think I have a better... I think you're paler than me.
You're dying, though.
You're killing
Slowly
me.
dying.
You're killing me. Yeah. No one's trying to fix it because this is very inside, but the production team is on vacation, so we're just flying without a net right now.
Oh, okay, wow.
Yeah. So if things
So far, so
glitch
good.
out, we're just screwed, basically, John. Just so you know.
Good to know. Hopefully we'll survive tonight. Wait and see.
Also,
We're
there's
off to
some
a good start.
controversy brewing. But I have to talk to you about it off air, so remind me later. Big controversy.
Oh, what did we say now? If someone said something, they should apologize. Except me.
Listen. Big controversy, but I can't talk about it right now. We have to talk about professional wrestling. I want to talk about CM Punker showing up on SmackDown tonight. That was fun.
Fantastic.
It was great. It was just great. You know, they didn't make us wait for it. They announced it here. They threw him out there, and now he's the fifth man in the Bloodlines War Games. So we had the solo team, the solo squad. I mean, it's hard to call them both the Bloodline, right? It's Solo and his boys and Roman and his guys, right? So Solo and Tama Tonga and Tongaloa and Jacob Fatu, they're all out there with Bronson Reed, who really fits in. Like, he looks like them a little bit. Like, he just kind of fits into the crew. When he was with them at the beginning of SmackDown, I was like, yeah, they kind of look like a group, don't they? They match.
Yeah, I mean, he's a big guy.
Yeah.
You know, and he fills up a lot of space, which they all do. So, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, but he's also, you know, an Islander, right?
I don't believe he's related to them, though.
No, but they're Samoan, and he is, I want to say, Maori from New Zealand, right?
I know he's from New Zealand. That's as far as I know. I just know that.
He's technically Australian, I think.
Is he?
He's not
No.
even from New Zealand.
Oh, I thought he was from New Zealand. Okay.
Hold on. He is of Samoan descent, though. He's Australian of Samoa. He's Samoan. So he's also Samoan.
That helps.
You know?
It worked.
Yeah. So it kind of works for him to be in this group. And they all show up, and they're in the ring, and there's 5 of them. And then Roman and Sami Zayn and the Usos come out, and there's 4 of them. And they're working towards Survivor Series, the War Games, 5-on-5. And they're standing there, and Solo says, surrender now or die, like, on the spot. He said something like, surrender or die, which was a little much, right? I was like, you're going to kill these guys? What? Anyways.
Have you noticed that's happened more on WWE television? They said, like, oh, I'm going to kill you. Like, they've said this a lot more often now. It's weird.
What's that about? Because that's the thing in wrestling you don't do. Because, you know, you're not actually going to kill somebody. It's always a thing in promos, right? Like, don't say something you're not actually going to do. But
Well, I think that's a huge thing in terms of, like, for sponsors, no? Like, it looks bad if, like, you're threatening murder. Even though obviously it's a show, still like threatening that in a show that's supposed to be rated PG, or maybe PG-4. I guess because they're PG-14 now, possibly they feel they can get away with it. And also, like you say, it's like this is what it used to be. So like they want to throw away pretty much what the old regime had. It's like, well, they said this, now we're going to do this.
I mean, maybe there's a shift coming. Netflix is coming.
Yeah, it's coming, and we'll see what happens with that. I'm very worried because I know you're saying it's not going to be 3 hours. I think we're getting 3 hours Raw and SmackDown, but we'll find out very soon. I'm very worried.
Yeah. Well, we have no idea, right? They haven't said.
And I'm worried about the rumors. I'm worried about those rumors that it's going to happen. I think especially the first one, expect it to be long, I think, first episode.
Mm-hmm. But there might be like a Travis Scott concert at some point during it that you could just skip through because it's going to be on Netflix.
Yeah,
I'll
I
watch
think I'm
it,
gonna
but
stop
you
that
can
too.
skip, you know?
Oh, I won't watch Raw live anymore, that's for sure. It's going to be definitely like afterwards. There's just a lot of skipping.
Yeah. I got an email from my cable company saying, hey, WWE Network is not going to exist anymore, so we're not going to give it to you soon. And I was like, cool. Cheaper for me. I'm not going to have to pay for WWE Network, and I already pay for Netflix, so fine by me. The only thing is the library, right? The library is going to be gone. Like, people really like the fact that they could watch all the wrestling matches, and now they can't. The history and all of that, back in the vault, WWE's kept that. And there's no real way you can get it other than DVDs. Right?
Well, a lot's on YouTube, thankfully. I mean, if you look hard enough, you can find a lot of it on YouTube.
Yeah, but, you know, I mean, some of it's on WWE's official YouTube, but other things aren't. I mean, a lot isn't on YouTube.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
I am lucky
But-
that I still have a very extensive DVD and VHS collection, so I have a lot of WWE history that I'm sure will be erased by WWE. But I have it. I've got the Hard Knocks Chris Benoit DVD. I've got the Self-Destruction of the Ultimate Warrior. You can't erase that, WWE. I have it. I have it.
Rare finds now, that's for sure. But apparently, they say like a lot's going to be uploaded to Netflix. Like you can get like WrestleManias and the Rumble like off Netflix.
We'll see how much they upload. I mean, we'll see. How much you really think they're going to put on there? It's Netflix. Like, it's going to be tough to put as much as they had on the network.
I wouldn't be surprised. Like you're paying what $6.99 a month right now for Netflix. Expect a price increase, I think, next year.
If there's a deep WWE library, I think it'll be worth it. But what are they really going to offer? We'll see. We'll see. Shout out to Ray Cruz. Shout out to Leor, members of the team in the chat, checking in. Members over at join.ringsidereport.net. That's how you can support the channel. Join.ringsidereport.net or membership.ringsidereport.net. CM Punk. So it's 4-on-5 in SmackDown, right? And Paul Heyman shows up. Heyman has not been seen since he was powerbombed through the table at Madison Square Garden, which he mentioned when he came out and cut a promo. Roman looks surprised to see Heyman because last week Roman tried calling Paul Heyman and the number was not in service. Roman couldn't get in touch with Heyman, which, you know, that's going to be an issue that we'll have to see play out. Like, why did Heyman disconnect his phone and not give Roman a new number? Was Heyman upset with Roman because Roman kind of disappeared on him after WrestleMania and left him at the hands of Solo Sikoa? Like, that was tough on Heyman, and Roman wasn't really there for him to help him. So is there a rift between Heyman and Roman? Is Heyman still the wise man, or is he the advocate for CM Punk once again? Because Paul Heyman comes out and introduces the fifth man for Roman's team, CM Punk, who comes out and helps Roman and the boys clear out Solo and his friends. And the baby faces stand tall. Punk kind of has a stare down with Roman And then he has a stare down with Roman and Sammy and the Usos. And that's how SmackDown ended, just kind of looking at each other like, ooh, do I trust you? I don't know. So that was fun. It was fun to see CM Punk show up. We haven't seen him since the Drew McIntyre match. He came out after on Raw, said, I'm going to go away for a while. I don't know what I'm going to do next kind of thing. Right? Mm-hmm. And this is what he's doing next. He got a call from his old buddy Paul Heyman saying that he needed to help his tribal chief, and CM Punk, for some reason, answered the call, which I'm not really sure what the motivations are for that, other than maybe I think what makes the most sense for them to explain why Punk is joining, right? Because it's kind of like, why would he join with Roman? It's kind of weird, right? But I think you explain it by saying Punk hates Solo and those guys for what they did to his good friend Paul Heyman, who we all know, Punk and Heyman have a very close relationship. They were together on TV for many years, but they're also good friends. Like, it's a real thing. So I think that is the explanation for CM Punk joining this team, right? Heyman asked, and Punk said yes because Heyman asked him, and also, to get some bit of revenge for what they did to Paul Heyman, taking him out and, power bombing him and then having him out for several months after.
Well, also, I think, remember they had that moment where Paul Heyman said, take me with you to Punk when Punk was on SmackDown. So he kind of told him he needed help. So he's actually helping him this time because he couldn't help him before. So there's that. And I think you want to keep monitoring what's happening right now, because I think SmackDown is being taped right now for next week. So you might get those answers as the show goes on right now.
Like why Punk joined? Those
well,
answers?
Because they're taping the show right before Survivor Series, right? So I think a lot of things could get answered possibly. Or they're going to at least have the matches, and maybe they'll air all that promo stuff backstage, possibly.
I mean, the Survivor Series matches are pretty much set, are they not?
I mean, how many Survivor Series matches do we have exactly? I mean, they didn't say.
Right now, we only have 3.
Right.
It's what, next week? Next week.
It is next Saturday.
Okay, so we have 2 War Games matches. We have a women's War Games match, which you made a very good point last week, saying, like, why is Bianca Belair in a U.S. title qualifier when she's in this women's War Games match? Was it Naomi?
Naomi was in the title match, remember? And she was in that. I was like, why is that? That doesn't make a lot of sense. That's the point I made last week, was that she had a women's title match and she was in the tournament. Like, well, this is obvious. She's not going to be the women's champion and be in the U.S. title tournament at the same time.
Oh, right.
However,
that was the point you were making. Okay.
They've also messed up this whole tournament again, because now they have a mystery person to take over for Jade, who got taken out. So I think that completely changes my thought process on this. I don't know if you caught that or not.
No, I didn't notice that they replaced Jade in it. Oh, yeah, and beyond, it doesn't matter, because the War Games match is like I keep thinking, and I'm wrong on this, I'm confused, because they're building towards 2 different things, and it's a little confusing. The women's U.S. title tournament finals are at Saturday night's main event, not Survivor Series. Right?
Right.
Okay. So it's at Saturday night's main event. So even Bianca was in this match tonight, and I was like, why is she in it? Isn't she already in War Games at Survivor Series? But it doesn't matter. But anyways, Bianca didn't win the match tonight because Jade Cargill got murdered by someone. I mean, she looked dead. There seemed to be blood around her head. She was on the windshield of a car that seemed broken. She was unconscious. She looked in a bad condition. Who claimed? Somebody claimed that she didn't do it. Well, Nia Jax was like, it wasn't me.
maybe it wasn't her, but I definitely think it was her team that did it, without question.
Maybe Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, could have been them.
They were all there.
They were all there, John, and they're all going to be in the War Games match. They continue to build towards that. Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae. The way they put this team together was just sloppy on Raw. Nia Jax coming out. Did you catch that promo, John?
Sadly,
it was
Raw was tough because it was taped as well, right? So
yikes.
It was rough. It was rough. I thought Sheamus and Braun Breaker was fantastic. Might be match of the week, but that was probably the rare bright spot of Raw. I think. I thought Ray's match was okay too. Not bad, not great, but Raw was tough when it's taped like that, and it's not easy. That promo was very difficult to get through.
Nia Jax, like, looking at all of them, like, going to Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez is like, I don't think about you. I don't care. I don't like you, and I don't hate you. I don't think about you. And then she's like, but Bianca and Jade and Naomi, I think about you, and I don't like... I was just like, fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. What is this? Why are you starting the show with this? What is happening? Like, it's who would want to watch that show? Who would tune into the beginning of this television program, watch this acting, and go, yes, let me continue watching this? Like, it was so bad. Thankfully, though, Rhea Ripley was a bright spot at the end of it because it was, again, 4-on-5, and the baby faces needed a fourth or a fifth because it was Bianca, Jade, Naomi, Io, and they needed a fifth. And they're like, who are you going to get? You guys have nobody. And then Rhea Ripley shows up. She has returned, and she just, like, storms into the ring and just says, War Games! And then nails Liv Morgan in the head with a headbutt, and they all start brawling. I thought that was a cool little spot for Rhea. You know, that was a nice little return, and just the way she said War Games, just the fury of Rhea, the intensity was really good. It was a bright spot in a horrible, horrible promo. So at least they ended it okay, you know? Bright spot, right? That was cool when Rhea came out and said War Games. I don't know why, but it was just, like, very amusing.
It was definitely the best moment. Marilyn Manson coming out there at the end and taking down Liv, I thought.
Marilyn Manson?
You didn't think that right away? Right when she came out, I'm like, is this Marilyn Manson coming out? Like, that's what I thought when she came out, because she has that mask now, right?
Really? When Rhea Ripley's music hits and Rhea Ripley walks out with a clear plastic face mask on, you think, oh, that must be Marilyn Manson? Really, John? That's your first guess? You think it's Marilyn Manson coming out to Rhea Ripley's music for some reason on Monday Night Raw? Disgraced rocker Marilyn Manson? John?
With the way the hair was and everything?
Uh-huh. You thought it was Marilyn Manson. You legitimately believed in your mind, oh, that must be Marilyn Manson. At which point did you realize it wasn't Marilyn Manson? After she said War Games? After the headbutt? After the announcers told you it was Rhea Ripley and not Marilyn Manson? At which point, John, did you realize, oh, wait a second, that's not Marilyn Manson. That must be Rhea Ripley. This is wrestling, not 1998 rock and roll.
It's more like 99, if I'm not mistaken. Wasn't you like the theme song for SmackDown around that time?
No, I would say earlier. I was into Marilyn Manson in like the 5th grade. I probably should not have been, but 5th grade. Let's see, that was probably 97? When did Antichrist Superstar release, John? I remember that was a big CD.
It was. Well, wasn't Beautiful People? Wasn't that like 2001, 2002, the theme song for SmackDown?
It may have been, but by that point, it was a little, it had been a big
dated
song for several years. It was kind of dated. 1996, John. 96.
It had been a while.
All right. So my 98 was more accurate than your 99. So take that, John. And also, it wasn't Marilyn Manson. It was Rhea Ripley, quite obviously.
I thought Liv didn't do a great job with the whole acting of selling, like, Rhea coming back. Like, he took her out, he potentially ended her career, and then just, like, kind of like oh, well, she's coming out. Oh, this is kind of shocking. And not like, this is the end of the world kind of thing. That's what it should have been. Like, I was kind of disappointed in that, but you shouldn't expect much, I guess.
I'm not really excited for this War Games match.
I mean, I think Io should be all right in the match because she's always had good moments in War Games. Apparently, she's been in every War Games match. But I think they're going to make something of that.
Okay.
And Rhea coming back, like, she's probably more than likely winning the match. So that's a nice moment for her. It's a good way to start the show, I think. It'll get people off to a good start. It'll suck up a good hour at least of the show.
I mean, how do you book Rhea, Bianca, and Jade together and have them not win? That's a super
Jade's
team.
not in the match. Jade's out.
She's actually pulled from all these matches, John? Like, where? Huh? Really?
Like, yeah, she's out. Like, they're going to have Bayley take her place, I think.
Did they say she's out of War Games?
They didn't say she's out of War Games, but if she's not in this match next week, I don't think she's wrestling at War Games either.
Okay.
Keep up to date with the spoilers. You'll find out. Maybe
Yeah,
they'll
well,
say.
now I want to know, like, who's going to be replacing...
Yeah, I'd like to know who's replacing Jade in the actual tournament. That's the more intrigue, because I think it might be Charlotte Flair coming back. And if Charlotte's coming back, well, the tournament's changed. Charlotte's winning the tournament now.
Charlotte
I don't know
Flair.
if that's actually... If Charlotte's coming back, which I think a very good chance it might happen. If that happens, and it's over.
My God, John. Well, this is all exciting stuff. I don't know what's happening. I'm not seeing any spoilers for SmackDown so far. I'm seeing nothing. Let me see if I can find some for us here.
The night is young.
Spoilers.
Only for that. Like, I don't need to know all the matches that happen. Just so much, like, if it's Bayley going to be the replacement, if Charlotte actually does come back. That's all we need to know. The whole Heyman Punk drama, like, that can wait for next week. They announced it's Cody versus Carmelo Hayes next week. That match was made official, so that's clearly happened. Cody's more likely winning that match.
Yeah.
Makes me wonder, though, if Cody's wrestling what's supposed to be the day before Survivor Series, and he's not actually wrestling the day before, but if they have him on a show the day before, is he going to be on Survivor Series as well? Because he left it open for Kevin, where he could have Survivor Series or Saturday Night's Main Event.
Yeah, but given the fact that there's only 3 matches for Survivor Series, don't you think that they should do it at Survivor Series? Also, given the fact that Kevin is Canadian and Survivor Series is in Canada, you would think they'd want him in a title match there.
I mean, yes and no, because you already have big main events, right? If you have Cody versus Kevin, that's not going to be the main event of Survivor Series. But if you have for Saturday Night's main event, that's more than likely the main event for that. So that's tough. I don't know. I can see it go either way, to be honest. Like, honestly, if I think about it, it's probably going to go towards Saturday Night's main event. And hopefully that doesn't kill you too much, but I think that's probably going to happen.
A little under the weather, just a little cold there going, You don't hear that in my voice. I'm like, not quite. I don't have the same pep, brother. All right.
I hear the Bret Hart coming out in your voice a little bit, but yeah.
That's right. It's me, Bret Hart. Hey,
there you go.
My brother Owen was a great wrestler. The thing is, ask me a question about anything, and I'll answer it like Bret Hart.
So, 25 years ago, WCW Mayhem, who did you wrestle? Win the WCW title?
No, I don't know that, John. Don't ask me a
Oh, you
trivia
don't
question.
know
No,
that?
I'm
You don't know
not about Bret Hart's career. Something like just random. Ask Bret Hart what he thinks about the
Okay.
riots in Montreal.
Well, I was going to ask Brett, what did you do today, Brett?
Well, I woke up and had some breakfast, ate some bananas, and I had some coffee, and then I watched me and Dino Bravo from 1988. Dino injured me, and I always took great pride in the fact that I never hurt anybody, I was a great artist in the ring. And that Bill Goldberg was a real son of a bitch. See, it always goes back to how great Bret was and how much a piece of shit other people were. No matter what you ask Bret, it always goes back to how great Bret was, which is fine. He was great. But it is kind of funny. Like, if you pay attention to Bret, John, you know this about Bret. It all kind of comes back to, like, Bret is not afraid to talk about how great he is. I was a great wrestler, and my brother Owen was great too. And most of the guys today couldn't lace our boots. Very dangerous, reckless wrestlers. Seth Rollins.
The best part about Brett when he talks about himself is like they ask him about his Mount Rushmore, and he puts himself on the list. That's the best.
Of course,
he should be, because he's on everyone else's. So why isn't he on his own? Like, it makes sense.
Yep. My Mount Rushmore is me, Owen, Davey, Dynamite. Not Davey.
I think he.
Not Davey. Me, Owen, Dynamite, Gene Kiniski.
I think Austin was on his list, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
Was Gene
he
Kiniski
did it.
there? Gene Kiniski.
I don't remember if Gene was or not.
Brett loves Gene Kiniski, let me tell you. Whipper Billy Watson.
So Kevin and KO? I mean KO and Cody?
It was a decent promo. They did a little promo tonight. Cody called him out. Kevin showed up. Cody wanted him in the ring. Kevin said, no. I helped you finish your story, and then you go and you team up with Roman Reigns, the guy who tried to end my career. And then Cody says, Kevin, you're your own worst enemy. You're obsessed with the idea of being the number one guy when it's all a big team effort. Which, easy to say when you're clearly the booked number one protected guy. That was a weird line from Cody, right?
I like the intensity that Cody put out there. I thought a lot of it was kind of true because a lot of people feel that way about Kevin. So I thought it worked. How he's kind of puts himself ahead of everything, as he should. It's not a bad thing, but it's true. He believes in himself a lot, and he should. But it's kind of he'll step over people for it.
Ooh,
and I think he has in the past. So,
ooh, shots fired, John. What's happening here? Thought he's your buddy.
Not shot fired. He is. I love Kevin, but it's true. And that's the way wrestlers are. People will, walk over you if you're not careful. That can happen.
Well, Cody, I'm sure he's done his fair share. Cody says Kevin Owens crossed the line with Randy Orton, what he did to Randy, and he's going to beat him up, and it's either going to be tonight or in his home country at Survivor Series or at Saturday night's main event, kind of leaving it open-ended there for Kevin. And Kevin says, well, you'll get your match, but it's going to be on my terms, and then the crowd boos. And then Kevin cracks me up. He's like, well, it's not going to happen here now after that, which was great.
Yep.
Nice off-the-cuff remark, just reacting to the fans. You could see how relaxed he is on the mic. He's just a master at cutting these promos, especially in front of the audience. He's great. He's great in front of a big live crowd. He can really handle himself, and a lot of people on that roster cannot. Kevin Owens is a master of professional wrestling, black belt pro wrestler. He makes that comment, And he says, Cody, I loved Randy Orton, and I hate you. So, imagine what I'm going to do to you. And then he leaves, and Cody kind of stops him and says, Kevin, I don't think you hate me. I think you hate yourself. And Kevin kind of is like, and he walks away.
It was that last line that was the problem.
Yeah.
It was so predictable.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of Cody's lines didn't really hit with me. I was just like, I was more like what Kevin was saying. I was like, ooh, get him, Kevin. But what Cody was saying, I was like, yeah, all right, dude. You crossed the line, Kevin. You shouldn't have done that to Randy Orton. You're just mad at yourself because you couldn't take advantage in our match with us. And it's like, yeah, because you were injured and he was being nice. He didn't want to hurt you permanently. Cody's like, you're a punk for doing that. It's like, what? Do you want to have an ACL still? Your knee was hurt. Kevin could have ripped it apart, but he kind of backed off, and it did cost him the match in the end. But you know what I mean? Kevin was nice to him in that match, and Cody's kind of like calling him out for it. I didn't love the promo from Cody, but I thought Kevin did well. So it was kind of like the segment was okay, but I enjoyed Kevin's part more. I thought the Kevin Owens character had a lot more to stand on than Cody did. Cody does seem like the heel a bit in this whole thing.
Yeah, I can see both sides of it. Like, I don't think there's a true clear-cut, like, good guy, bad guy in this case. But I can see how Cody sees it that way, too. It's like, you had the opportunity, you didn't take advantage of it. And you blame yourself, and you're trying to put the blame on other people, but really, it should be you. Like, I get that. That makes a lot of sense. And, again, I like the passion that Cody showed there, because in a lot of his promos, it just feels like he's going through the motions. That one, it felt like he kind of bowed up a bit, which I think we don't see enough of Cody doing that.
Yeah. I mean, there was passion. There was some intensity. Bayley and Naomi beat Tiffany Stratton and Candice LeRae by disqualification when Nia Jax just attacked Naomi outside the ring. Pretty dud finish there. And then it just, degenerated into a melee with Nia and Tiffy and Candice attacking the two baby faces, and then Io Sky making the save, and then Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan come out and attack the baby faces, and then here's Rhea Ripley showing up on SmackDown with a kendo stick, and she hits Raquel and Candice with a kendo stick, and then all the heels bail out and kind of look at the baby faces who are standing in the ring. So maybe it will be Bayley, right? It does make sense that Bayley would replace Jade if Jade needs replacing in War Games. I wonder why they would replace Jade. Like, what's the real reason? Is she actually hurt? Is she... I mean, she must be hurt, right? What else could be going on?
Well, what's going on is that they're always playing that whole, like, oh, Bianca doesn't like Bayley, but now you have no choice, Bianca. You have to team with Bayley. So it creates there's always going to be able to work together or not. And then maybe Bianca will think, oh, Bayley was behind it all because now Bayley has a spot, so she took out Jade. It's just for that, I think.
Maybe Bayley was behind it all.
I doubt it. It was probably like, Liv and Raquel, more likely.
Maybe it was Charlotte Flair.
Maybe. Like, you think Charlotte's come back as a heel?
Maybe it was Vince McMahon himself. He's done horrible things to women.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get involved in WWE storylines anytime soon, so yeah, that's a big no.
Man, when Heyman came out tonight, wouldn't it have been so crazy if he introduced Brock Lesnar instead of CM Punk?
Well, I think, did Ryan Katz say he thought it was going to be either Punk or Brock? Like, I kind of had the same feeling too. It's like, well, Heyman's going to bring out a Heyman guy. I mean, what Heyman guys are there? I was so worried it was going to be Seth. I'm so happy it was. It's just so much better now.
Yeah, it's way better than Seth. It's such an upgrade from Seth. It really felt like it was going to be Seth because of the Bronson Reed connection. They kept trying to get Seth to come around on Raw a couple weeks in a row. They're asking him, and he's like, nah. It felt like it was going to be Seth, and now Punk instead in that War Games match makes it so much better. Roman Reigns teaming with CM Punk for the first time ever, I'm going to say.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right.
Roman, Punk, Sammy, and the Usos. That's a super team. How did they lose?
The thing is, because I'm thinking anyways, that the women's babyface team is going to win. So it's a lot for two babyface teams to win War Games. However, they did lose in Saudi Arabia. So, I mean, yeah, they should win too, right? The OG bloodline.
I think the women's heels win. I think without Jade on the team, I think maybe some infighting with Bianca and Bayley. I mean, if you think about it, John, the two women's champions are on the heel team. They should win.
Okay. Yeah, but Rhea Ripley is like above everybody. So Rhea should win.
I mean, they got two champions, though. Two
Yeah,
champions.
Rhea walked through both champions on one episode of Raw or SmackDown. I can't remember, but she walked through everybody, I think, at one point. So Rhea's got to win, I think. It's her comeback.
She's lost comebacks before.
Sure, but I feel like they at least give her something. Like this, is she getting a match on Raw or SmackDown? If it's her first match back, she's winning, I think.
So you think Punk loses, but what's
more
more important?
No, I think they both win.
They both win.
win.
They won't. Okay, both babyface teams win. Interesting.
Gunther beats Priest. A lot of heels are going to win the non-matches, so that's why maybe Cody and KO doesn't have the Survivor Series.
So Gunther and Priest is the only other match announced for this. Gunther defending the world title against Damian Priest, which is a dud match that no one really cares about.
Horrific segment on Raw. Awful segment they had. That was. Did it feel like Looney Tunes? It felt like Looney Tunes, where it's like he's in one corner of the area and then walks the other corner. Oh, and Priest is there, so I'm going to jump him, and then gets beat up.
Yeah.
Wow, he looked bad. It looked bad and stupid.
Yeah. Gunther talks to Kaiser, and then he's walking around. He sees Priest. He tries to attack him, and then Priest just whoops on him. It wasn't good. Raw overall was not good.
Well, again, I highly recommend watching that Sheamus Braun Breaker match. That was fantastic. Great.
Yeah,
match.
no, that was good. Other than that, though, John?
I guess the mixed tag was okay. I thought Ray and Gable, that was pretty good. They had some good moments in there.
Yeah.
Ivy Nile, though, oof, she might be the worst heel in all of WWE. She is not very good. Needs a lot of work.
That one dive that Braun Breaker did off the top to the outside was crazy. You know what I'm talking about? Where he almost landed on his head?
Was it the senton thing that he did?
Yeah. To a standing Sheamus?
Yeah.
What was he thinking? That was wild, man.
He's a champ. It's the second reign. Just got to pull it all out here. And he probably thought, too, the crowd might be a little bit dead. It's the second taping of Raw. I got to get the crowd going. So, got people popping.
Sheamus is going to bring the physicality every time, and Braun Breaker, he matched it. It was very good. Very good. Probably match of the week that I saw on TV. I don't think
easily.
Yeah. So what else are they adding on this pay-per-view, John? Or PLE, whatever it's called. Because they have 3 matches right now. And, the War Games matches are long, so they don't really need much else. They could do another match or 2.
Right.
But they don't need much else. They could just do one more, honestly, because War Games matches are long. When they do the Royal Rumble, it's what? 4 matches?
4 or 5. I mean, if it's going to be 4, those other 2 matches, that'd be kind of long, I think. because usually they're like the title matches, right? So they're pretty much like 30-minute matches practically.
Well, Gunther and
So-
Priest.
What is the other match going to be? I feel like you might have 2 mid-card championships. I would hope you have Braun defend against Sheamus and Kaiser. I think that'd be a fantastic match. And then I'd throw in a tag team match. You got 2 sets of tag team titles. Do the whole War Raiders against Judgment Day match. Get that done. I know it's not great, but it's something to just get it done out of the way because they're number 1 contenders. It's going to have to happen.
I'd rather see LA Knight wrestle Shinsuke Nakamura for the U.S. title.
Sure. I like that they're kind of building it, though. I think give it more time. I think it'd be more over if you gave it more time. I feel like if the Survivor Series is a little too rushed, I think.
I didn't really like Shinsuke's promo tonight.
The placement was odd, and
Yeah.
the way it was aired was odd. Like, they needed to kind of give it a little bit more, like, presence because it just suddenly happened. Boom, it's on the screen. Did we go to commercial? Oh, it's there. And then suddenly, oh, boom, we're back in the ring.
Well, yeah, and like Santos Escobar and LA Knight are in the ring waiting for their match, and then this Shinsuke promo airs, and LA is obviously watching it because it's about him. And then somewhere towards the end of the promo, Santos just attacks LA because, like, of course, why wouldn't he?
Right.
And then the match started. It's like, why didn't he do that as soon as the promo started? Like, hey, this is my chance. Let's beat this guy. It's for the U.S. title. It was a title match, too. LA won, obviously. But
The finish was kind of weird.
he hit this
Oh, they-
finisher, didn't he?
Well, I felt like something got missed or something because like Escobar hit like a splash, like he gave him a frog splash, and then doesn't pin him, picks him up, tries to pick him up for something else. LA reverses it to his finish. I'm like, what the heck was that? It was just oddly done, like the way that all came together at the end. Like it just moved. Like there should have been a bit more spacing on how that all went down. I thought.
Maybe they were rushed for time. You know, maybe they had a 5-minute or 6-minute match plan, and they were told, you know, just before the curtain, you know, it's 4 minutes. You know what I mean? These things happen.
That's very good. Yeah, very good possibility.
That kind of sounds like, you know what I mean? Like if you felt it was rushed, it's probably because it was.
That's too bad.
I mean, it's tough to build anticipation to a finish if you're having a 3-minute match. The match was very short. Cut shorter by the promo. That promo was longer than the match.
And went right to commercial when the match pretty much started too.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with all that, you know? And as far as the tag team titles, I think on both shows, it's pretty bad. The Finn Balor thing where they sent Carlito and Dom to wrestle the War Raiders, like, ooh, if you're so tough, why don't you go beat them up? And then I guess the War Raiders are going to take on JD and Finn. Like, just get the belts off of them and move on already. I guess they could do that. On SmackDown, we have this whole weird thing going on with the Motor City Machine Guns and the Street Profits and DIY. Montez wrestled Ciampa tonight and beat Ciampa, and then Ciampa attacked Montez afterwards. And Gargano came out and was telling him not to do it. Gargano's like a babyface and Ciampa's like a heel, but they're still a tag team. Ciampa's mad that Gargano's friends with the Motor City Machine Guns, and he feels like it's costing them title opportunities. It's just... And then the Street Profits are getting title shots, and they're in the way, and DIY or Ciampa's mad, and Gargano seems fine with it for some reason. It's weird, man, and I just don't care. I don't care about any of that stuff on SmackDown. As soon as that Motor City Machine Gun Johnny Gargano promos start happening, I tune out. I'm looking online on other stuff. You know, I'm zoning out because I'm not interested. Nothing. All three of those teams are kind of tune-outs for me. DIY, Gargano and Ciampa's, that's the same guys. Shelley and Sabin, who are basically Gargano and Ciampa. You know what I mean? Like, they're interchangeable. And then you got the Street Profits, who are just there. The tag title scene overall in WWE is horrible. And I would prefer to see LA Knight and Shinsuke, if we're going to have another mid-card match on this show, Survivor Series, I'd rather see them because I don't want to see any of the tag teams. Nothing they're offering in their tag team division is worth a damn. And you know what? Some of that is on the talent. It just is. They're not compelling characters. The only compelling tag team that the WWE has right now, to me, well, they have two. But they're not really teaming. Either of them. They have the Usos and they have the New Day. The New Day are stuck in this thing where they're mad at each other every week. And the Usos, I mean, they're just, Roman's sidekicks again. Maybe it's a matter of time before they go for a tag team title, because at this point, we'd be better off. Tag division is in the garbage can right now, right? It's bad.
Well, I thought there was potential in that Montez Ford against Ciampa match. Like, I thought there were moments where it was pretty good. I just feel with Ford, like, his selling, he just doesn't do it enough. He does a lot of high-flying moves, and, like, he doesn't really sell the fact that, hey, like, that hurt me. Like, he kind of does a little bit, but not so much. And, like, did you see the end of that match? Like, he took a big knee to the face. Didn't sell it whatsoever. And then just like, oh, well, roll them up, whatever, 1, 2, 3. It's kind of disappointing. Like, I feel you'd get behind Ford more if he sold more. Like, he's a fantastic athlete, but kind of skips on the selling, sadly. I think people would care more if he sold.
I don't care at all. Where's Pretty Deadly?
Well, you care more about characters, I think. That's the big thing. Like, those are characters you like. The Motor City Machine Guns, they're just wrestlers. Like, they
Yeah.
don't have so much characters. That's
They're
the
kind of
problem. You want
boring, aren't
characters.
they? Kind of boring.
Good wrestlers. But that's it.
They were.
I don't think they're bad now. It's just,
They're so
kind of-
far removed from their physical peak.
right. But I think they can
I'm
still
just
hang
not
with
interested. I'm not interested. They don't fit in the WWE. They don't fit. That's why they're sticking them with DIY. Sticking with some teams that kind of make sense against them. It was a weird signing. They didn't even put them in NXT. Did they put them in NXT?
No.
What the hell was that? What is that?
Well, I guess they felt like it was now or never with them. Like, I'm okay with it, though. I mean, if they're going to have two sets of tag team titles, they got to make it interesting, different. I mean, they do. When you look at the tag team division on both brands, it's kind of different. Not great, but they are different.
It just shows you, man. It's who you know. These guys are not getting a look unless half of the WWE, like, producers, agents, whatever, are like former TNA wrestlers. You see Bobby Roode attending to Jade Cargill tonight. Abyss is back there. I think Sanjay is there. Maple Leaf, Petey Williams is there. You know what I mean? Like, everybody from TNA at a certain era that wrestled the Guns happened to work for the WWE now. Lo and behold, the Guns have a job on TV. I mean, I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying at this stage of their career, it was a weird move for WWE to sign them. They're kind of like, if they signed them in 2014, I would have been like, yeah, that makes sense. But 2024, I go, are they still wrestle?
Well, they did.
And now they're the tag team champions. I don't want to be disrespectful to them. I just see them and I go, I don't think this is going to move the needle, WWE. What's happening here? I don't think this is working.
Well, you kind of mentioned the other tag teams. The other tag teams wasn't working, so they're just trying something different, I think. I mean, what was the worst they could do? I mean, again, I feel the tag team titles are the lowest titles they have in all of WWE, so you didn't really lose much by doing this, I think.
So now we go to Pretty Deadly. Like, what's the worst they can do? Let's try it out. Let's try something else out.
Well,
But,
have they
you
done
know,
their
we'll
year
see.
jobbing yet? They have to job out for a whole year, and then they push them. Isn't that
Yeah.
the whole routine usually?
Yeah, they're going to have to keep jobbing for a while. Do you want news on who replaced Jade Cargill in that triple threat U.S. title tournament match?
So you have spoilers. I guess we'll warn people this is spoilers for next week.
Spoilers
No,
for
right
next
now.
week. I'll just tell you who replaced her. I don't even have to tell you if she won the match or not.
Okay.
So the
Who
match
was it?
was Piper Niven, Michin,
Mm-hmm.
and Jade Cargill initially, right?
Originally, yes.
Originally, but Jade Cargill, after the injury angle they worked tonight on SmackDown, is not in this match and was replaced by Lash Legend.
Oh, well, not Charlotte. Not Charlotte at all.
Not
I
Charlotte
guess
at all,
Michin
John.
won.
So,
Did Michin win?
well, should I say?
I guess, yeah, probably don't say because we'll talk about next week, right? So, yeah, save it for people that like to listen, not listen to spoilers so much.
Ah, fuck it. She won. Michin won.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good for my predictions because I feel good in this tournament
who
now.
won that stupid match? Like, I don't think anyone really cares.
I'm
Who
almost
won
perfect in this
between
tournament.
Michin, Piper Niven, and Lash Legend? I mean, who cares?
No, this is good for my tournament brackets because I had Chelsea and Bailey, right? And then
Okay.
it's Michin.
Didn't I have that too?
No, you had Bianca actually.
Bianca
You still had
and
Bailey
Bailey?
and Bailey. You had that as a match, which is not a bad idea because like they're kind of teasing that they're having problems, right? But they're not going to have that match.
Oh, but Bianca got eliminated from the thing tonight, so that's not going to happen. I was wrong. And Chelsea won that match, so Chelsea you could do it, John.
Well, I'm hoping as long as Bailey and Tiffany, if it works out, I mean, fingers crossed. I don't know, but wait and see.
Okay. Well, that's what's up in WWE World, John. That's what they're doing. Next week, we'll preview Survivor Series. Tonight, though, we should get to some AEW and preview AEW's Full Gear. The fullest of gears.
Well, I purchased the pay-per-view this evening. I'm looking forward to it. I know I'm not going to watch it live with you, do the post-show, but I will watch it at some point on the weekend. Because
You're
I
not
think
doing
it'll be
the
a
post-show?
pretty good show.
I thought you were on the post show.
Oh, I'm wrestling on Saturday. I mentioned this last 2 weeks, actually, but
You know,
it's okay. A lot's going on in your life.
Yeah,
Rough life.
I'm out to lunch. Who knows what's going on with me, man? You know, I don't sleep much. I'm on like the Vince McMahon sleep diet. It's not good. I don't like
you did
it,
have
pal.
two watch-alongs
Makes
like
me real
last
aggressive.
week.
Huh?
Two very long watch-alongs last week alone.
Yes. Worked very hard last week on the Ringside Report Network, not to mention everything else. You know?
It was cool. Like when you were doing a watch-along, I was like talking like Ronnie Garvin and Jacques Rougeau. I mean, we had a good nights on Saturday.
Yes, we did. Victorious. What were you doing?
Well, I was at Loot Academy in Montreal. I got to see our buddy Jeremy Prophet win Loot Academy, and he's going to
Again?
go off to Mexico now. Yeah, he won again, and now he's going to go to Mexico and train with Bandito, and then he's going to go to Japan to also train as well for a week. That's pretty
Bandito.
awesome. He's going to probably more likely wrestle in Mexico, and more likely wrestle in Japan coming up. Just to add on to his already incredible resume.
He's great. We love Jeremy Prophet. He's the man. Good
Just
guy.
gets better and better.
I know he was watching the UFC last weekend. He's a big UFC fan. We talk UFC all the time.
Oh yeah, we
Jer-
talked about that.
Jeremy and I exchange messages. He's always giving me his picks for the pay-per-view. He knows his stuff. He's a good guy. I've known Jeremy Prophet longer than I've known you somehow, John. Although when I first met Jeremy Prophet, it was on the baseball field. We were against each other, and there was there was it was intense.
Well, I remember when Jeremy would talk about you. He's like, "Oh, I know this guy Dave. Like, I've known him since like he played baseball. Like, he's a pretty cool guy." I'm like, "Oh, cool. That's nice." And he also likes wrestling, apparently. I'm like, "Oh, wow, that's even better. Cool.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll get along."
Oh,
Worked
yeah.
out.
Wow. So I knew Jeremy before you.
Yeah, you did.
Wow. How about that? How about that? Long time, Johnny. Long time. Jeremy actually started this show, right? Jeremy was the first co-host on Wrestling Uncensored before you were.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know if he did Dawson Radio with you as well. I think
He did.
Was the one. Did he? Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, the first
We all did
wrestling radio show that I did was on Dawson College Radio. And it was just a radio show. I could do whatever I want with it. For a while, I played music, and then at a certain point, Jeremy would come in, and it was like an early in the morning slot. It was like 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. or something, and we had an hour or two, and then we would just go in, and he would come in, and we would just talk about wrestling. And I was like, wait a second, we could do this. This is not a bad idea. Just go on and talk about wrestling. People would listen to this if they like wrestling. I would listen to this. This is good wrestling conversation. And it didn't even dawn on me. Like, this was before people were doing podcasts. You know what I mean? Like, this is way back, John.
It was, yeah.
If
This
you
was like
wanted to do
2004.
like an audio show, you had to like sign up to like the college radio station if you were in school, and you would do that. You couldn't just do a podcast. Didn't exist. It was impossible. Technology wasn't there. It's nuts. You say that now to a kid, and they're like, "What?" You just flip on their phone, all of a sudden they have a YouTube channel, they have a following, they could do, it's so much easier now than it was. I sound like an old man, maybe because it's what I'm becoming. It's funny.
I mean, we were in CJIP when YouTube was just starting out, so that shows you how old we are, I guess.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, so the first kind of incarnation of Wrestling Uncensored, Ringside Report, radio, whatever, was on Dawson College Radio with me and Jeremy.
Yeah, I think it was on a couple episodes. I remember all of us together at one point. I remember that.
Mm-hmm. That must have happened. Yeah, I would just get Jeremy. He would come in and we would just talk about pro wrestling. We would watch Raw or SmackDown or whatever we had seen, and we'd talk about this guy or that guy or, history of wrestling or whatever. It was good. And it gave me the idea. I was like, wait a second, I could just do this. Why would I play music when I can just talk about wrestling with my friends? It seems like way more fun. Way more fun. And I'm still doing it somehow.
You had a pretty good job doing it for a while as well. Yeah, it was pretty good.
I
transitioned
still do, John.
quite well.
I mean, I still do.
You still do.
It's even better now, to be quite honest. It's never been this fun. Like, it's as fun as it's ever been doing these shows. And, we have the audience that supports us and everything. It's good. This is fun. This is the way it should be. The video component, too, that we have going, like the technology that we've incorporated over the years, it's just great. I think this is the best version that we've ever had. And I think as time goes on, we continue to improve and get better. I'm happy with where we're at. It's good. Right?
Oh, the evolution. I mean, a lot of people can look back on past episodes and just be like, wow, it's really changed.
Yeah.
Over the years.
But like, I don't look back on any any kind of past times or incarnations of the show, or you know what I mean, like mediums or hosts or whatever, and go, ooh, it was better back then. I wish we could go back to this time. Like, there's no good old days. It's just like, yeah, we had some times that were fun, but it's like I don't ever want to go back. You know what I mean? There's no like, oh, right. I wish we still had this or we still had that. It's just like, no, everything we have is the best version of what we've ever had. You know what I mean? Everything just keeps moving forward.
100%. I think it just always gets better and better. If anything, we just add on to what we've already succeeded on.
Yeah. And we just become, our understanding and our expertise just becomes deeper and deeper as time goes on, too. The years and the history and everything and the paying attention and, the knowledge, it's just... I realize sometimes talking to people, I'm like, wow, I know way too much about all of this stuff.
Well,
you talk to wrestling fans or MMA fans, and they're, they like it, but it's not like us. It's a little different.
It's funny when I go to shows, people ask me like, "Oh, what did Dave think about what happened in wrestling?" Like, you're quite well known in the wrestling world in Montreal.
Really?
Without question, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm almost asked that almost on weekly basis every time I'm at shows.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
By who? Wrestlers or like people?
It's usually like maybe not by the wrestlers, because actually you'd be surprised. A lot of the wrestlers don't watch like current wrestling right now.
I know.
But a lot of the people that work for like wrestling promotions watch wrestling all the time.
Yeah.
And they listen to us as well. And they'd ask like, "Oh, what does they think about this?" I hear that a lot. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I don't hear that a lot. I don't go out much. So I'm busy. I don't talk to people.
Well, it's safe where you are. We said this already.
That's it. You got to stay safe, man. I got kids. I got to stay safe, Johnny. You could go out and venture into the world, into the downtowns and so on. I got to stay safe here. All right? Got to protect myself at all times.
Yeah, it's a grimy in the wrestling scene. Don't worry. Very grimy.
I was just looking at the time. I was like, when's that UFC China start? I think it's like 3 a.m. I was like, is it almost on? Getting ready for some fights, baby. I'll wake up tomorrow morning early and watch those UFC fights. I'm going to be up late night, too. It's going to be a rough day tomorrow. Up early for the 6 a.m. main card in Macau. And then up late for for AEW's Full Gear. The fullest gear from AEW. It is in Newark, New Jersey. And they are promising 11 matches on this thing. Only 9 on the pay-per-view. So, not so bad, but 11 matches.
4.5 hours.
Yeesh. We'll see. We'll see what this is. I want to get to the pay-per-view. I want to break it all down. But first, I want to tell you about what pissed me off with AEW this week.
On Dynamite?
Yes. Of course on Dynamite. I'm not watching Rampage or Collision.
I sent you something that happened on Collision, did I not? Like, there was a pretty good match on Collision I suggested you watch, which I thought was fantastic, actually.
Which was?
It was Mariah May, Anna Jay. That match, did you watch it?
No.
Oh, too bad. It was a great match, I thought. I give both of them a lot of credit. I didn't think they were that good in like hardcore matches, but I thought they were very good in that match. I recommend going back to watch it. Mariah's not wrestling on the pay-per-view. I know she has some sort of celebration. And we talked about this off air. I think Tony Storm's coming back.
Tony Storm. Yeah. But, like, come on. Mariah May and Anna Jay, you want me to watch that? I got stuff to do, John. I have, like, things to do. I'm not going to, like, to what end am I going to watch that? I don't. What's the purpose? How good can it really be?
Like, I was very surprised.
Match of the year?
It. I wouldn't say that. I mean,
no.
I'm just saying.
Why am I watching it?
I would say it was better than anything you saw on SmackDown tonight.
Well, that's not a high bar. Everything sucked on SmackDown tonight, match-wise.
Okay, well, I think it's probably the second best match you'd see this week if you saw that match.
I'm not watching Collision. I'm not watching Rampage. I'll watch Dynamite. AEW right now. Let me tell you. Okay? The state of AEW. They are in the worst place they've ever been in. The company is awful. It is hard to watch. They have 0 stars. No Bryan Danielson. No CM Punk. No Cody Rhodes. No Young Bucks. No Kenny Omega. Even though apparently he's healthy and going to do something in Japan, but AEW doesn't need him right now. They have nobody. They have nonsensical booking. They have empty arenas. They have some of the lowest ratings in the history of their company. They're losing to NXT, which also sucks. AEW right now is in major trouble. They just signed a new TV deal and they're celebrating? They didn't get more on the TV deal than their last deal. They didn't get an increase. They're like, yeah, all right, we'll keep you around. Here's some money. It's like a fraction of what WWE gets. Here's a little money in it. Stick around for a few more years, and then we'll see if you're still around as a company because you need live attendance, and I don't know. And what are they doing to combat the fact that they're losing attendance? Are they, finding stars, revitalizing their programming, fixing their booking, anything? No, they just decided they're going to run smaller buildings in 2025. So you're going to sell fewer tickets. And you probably won't even sell those out. Because with this type of product, I don't know if I would even go to an AEW show. Who am I paying to see? Orange Cassidy? I'm not buying a ticket to see Orange Cassidy. I don't give a fuck to see this guy. What is this company? And this is exactly what I said would happen when Danielson left. I said, wait a second, you got Moxley now running on top of the show against who exactly? And I thought maybe it would be Darby, but no. Darby would have made sense because Darby was the one beat down there with Bryan in the ring. Darby was the one who lost his title shot to Moxley by losing to Moxley, which allowed Moxley to beat Bryan, kill Bryan, take the title off Bryan, retire Bryan. Darby, who should have been the heir apparent, the next guy up, the next one of the 4 pillars to be the world champion after MJF, it's not going to be Sammy Guevara, and it damn sure shouldn't be Jungle Boy. It should be Darby. But for some reason, Darby is just a sidekick to Orange Cassidy with the rest of the Jabroni squad, with Mark Briscoe and Kyle O'Reilly, and is there another one that I'm forgetting, John, in the Jabroni crew? Ishii, maybe? Rocky Romero? What are they? The conglomerate? Whatever the fuck? It's a job squad. This is a jabroni crew that Darby isn't even the leader of. It's Orange Cassidy, who has all the enthusiasm of a fucking slug. Just even when he's getting beat down at the end of Dynamite by Moxley and his goons, in this moment of seriousness when he's just the lone guy standing up for AEW and he's just getting a beating, he's surrounded by 4 men and a strong lady. What does he offer? The fucking baby kicks. He does that silly bullshit in a big moment at a serious time when he's supposed to be in a go-home show for a fucking pay-per-view main event for the World Championship. And at that moment, you say, fuck it. I'm still going to be me, and I'm going to do those little baby kicks when I'm getting the shit kicked out of me. He's a fucking joke. And he doesn't even take it seriously. Because if he did, he would say, I'm going to drop this. I'm not going to do this here. It's not the moment. It doesn't call for it. But he doesn't have that in him. And he's not believable. And no one thinks he's going to beat Moxley for the belt. I don't know if anybody cares to see this match. He's not the leader that AEW needs to stop Moxley and his crew. And again, what Moxley and his crew want is ambiguous. Why are they mad at AEW? What exactly are they doing? How are they stopping anything? They're just heels that hate baby faces. And the baby faces they have to go up against are pure jabronis. And the guy you thought that might have been the hope in Darby Allin has a match with Claudio Castagnoli on Dynamite this week where he just gets fucking squashed and beat. No offense. Beat the shit. Claudio looked impressive. Picked Darby up. Darby was in the crowd. Claudio picks him up, vertical suplex style, and then walks him up the stairs and dumps him in the ring. Crazy strong. Darby just a punching bag for Claudio in that match. No offense, no coffin drop. Claudio beats him 1, 2, 3. So Darby, fucking nothing. You can't put him up against Moxley. He can't even beat Moxley's goon. And I believe this was Darby's big match for the week because he's not even booked on the pay-per-view. His big match for the week was on Dynamite against Claudio where he got beat in a squash. But don't worry, guys. Orange Cassidy's here to save the day against the evil Moxley and his crew of boring fucks that aren't over. Oh, man, it is so bad, John. It's so bad. I'm going to run down what we have on this pay-per-view, and you will see how bad it is. Has AEW ever been worse?
I understand you didn't like Dynamite this week, and I'm not saying it was a great show.
No shit.
But I still think the pay-per-view, I'm very excited for the pay-per-view. I still think it's going to be a good pay-per-view. I agree. The main event, I'm not very excited for the main event, but I still think it has a very solid card.
The problem is with their main event is they have Moxley there as champion, and they got Orange going up against him, and Orange just isn't that main event guy to go up against Moxley. He's not believable. You have good main event guys that are just doing sideline nonsense. You have Hangman Page wrestling Jay White for some reason. You have Swerve Strickland wrestling Bobby Lashley for some reason. It's just like you have MJF wrestling Roderick Strong. Like MJF, Swerve, Hangman. Those are your main event guys. Okada, where is he? He's a main event guy. None of those guys are present in the main event scene right now. That's the main problem with AEW's booking. And I don't know when they're going to fix that, but they haven't fixed it going into this pay-per-view. They put Orange Cassidy in the main event. It's ludicrous. It's an insult. It makes this pay-per-view a complete dud. You look at this show and you go, skip. AEW fans aren't going to tune into this. This is going to sell 0 pay-per-views. It's going to do very badly. This is not a captivating main event. They needed to come harder, and they fucking failed.
I-
What is his fascination with Orange Cassidy? What does he have on Tony Khan?
Again, I won't disagree about the main event, but I disagree that this won't sell whatsoever. Like, I think they're going to have a jam-packed arena, like they do for the pay-per-views. The pay-per-views actually sell in terms for the arena. I know maybe for TV events, not so much. And whether they actually get smaller venues for the TV events, pay-per-view, they do all right. And again, a lot of the matches on this undercard, like just looking at the card, that sold it for me right there. And we'll go through it all because, like, in the end, overall, it's worth watching.
I'm trying to find the AEW tickets for Full Gear. They have sold 9,000 tickets for an arena that sits, I'd say, 15,000, maybe 20.
I mean, that's actually pretty good. If it's 15,000, that's pretty good.
I'd say more though. The Prudential Center capacity 16,755 for like a hockey game. But we're not talking about a hockey game. We're talking about a wrestling show, so it's a little bit more. You got floor seats there.
I think honestly, 9,000 for like anything is actually pretty good. So the fact that AEW got that's actually that might be one of their best pay-per-view actually, like, gates that they've had this year. I mean, we're not counting like the All In or even like Sting's retirement, but like for something that's not a big special thing like that, I think that's one of their best gates.
Well, good for them. Good for them.
And sadly, like, one of the reasons why I think they sold so many tickets is for what's happening on the pre-show, pretty much. The buy-in.
I think you're right. I think that did sell a lot of tickets, and I think it is generating a lot of interest. Now, not for me or you, but
right.
There is an audience for Big Boom AJ and Big Justice, who are... Now, I did research on these guys today, John, and I did good research, okay? I looked them up, and I was like, who the hell are these guys? I watched their promo on Dynamite, and I was like, these guys are seriously annoying. And I was like, I've seen these guys briefly on the internet before, but I never stayed long enough to figure out who exactly they were, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not on TikTok, so I don't really know what's going on. These are TikTok guys, right? It's a guy and his son, and they're irritating. I think their gimmick is they go to Costco and they eat food. Cookies?
Chocolate chip cookies, right? Yeah.
Right. And it's weird. I don't know why this is caught on. But then there's another... But then the kid, the son, goes, the guy that's going to ring the bell is the Rizzler. And then I go, okay, is this an alter ego of this kid? Who is the Rizzler? And it turns out that the Rizzler is another kid and he's from New Jersey, I think. So that's going to be big in Jersey. These two, Big Justice and Big Boom AJ, are from Florida. And the Rizzler is from New Jersey. Okay?
All right.
Now, in my shoot job, John, I come in contact, I talk to a lot of kids between the ages of, say, 18 and 22, right? They're around, and I have to talk to them.
That's rough.
They work for me, right?
That's okay.
Right. I have employees, right? And a lot of them are kind of kids in that age range. So I'm talking to them, and I go, you guys ever heard of this Rizzler? They all know who this kid is. They all know. And some of them know that I'm a wrestling guy. And they're like, oh, are you going to watch Big Justice on AEW, the Rizzler? I was like, what? Like, they're not talking to me about wrestling, but they know that these guys are going to be on Full Gear tomorrow. They all know the Rizzler and Big Justice, and like the younger demos are all over these guys. Like, I think if you're between the ages of, say, like, I think my son is maybe too young at 7, but he might be aware of them. I'm not sure. I don't think he is, but I feel like maybe between the ages of, say, 12 and 22, you know who these guys are. Everybody knows.
Well, I think our agent knows too who they are, if I'm not mistaken.
I think the Rizzler might be the next Jake Paul.
Wow. That's kind of crazy, but I mean,
Take up
they were
MMA,
on the-
Rizzler. You never know what your future may hold, baby. You could fight John Jones in 20 years and beat him. You know what I mean? John Jones in 20 years will be like 58. The Rizzler will be like 28, and it'll be a great fight. Go for it, Rizzler. Make a plan. If you're like a 8-year-old kid right now, like on the internet, you might want to think about the Jake Paul route. Maybe AJ was right. Jake Paul did change the face of sports. Oh, shit. Oh, that's good. You got to watch last night's show to know what I'm talking about, but that's a good one. That was a good one. So the Rizzler, John. The Rizzler and Big Justice and the cookies and the guy and the son. It seems exploitative. I don't know why they're doing this to these kids, putting them out there on the internet so much, making them personalities, but I guess they like it. I don't know.
They had the weigh-in today. We missed it. It was on Rampage, apparently. They had the weigh-in for the match. I
And
imagine
they're
that's gonna get
wrestling
a lot of buzz.
QT. Why are they wrestling QT? I thought he wasn't even in AEW anymore.
They had some sort of confrontation or something, and like he challenged him to a match. So this is happening, but
Okay.
it hasn't really been talked about. So that's why it's going to be on like the buy-in instead.
Yeah.
Not really a main pay-per-view thing.
No. I
But
don't
it'll
know if I'll
be-
even catch this match, John, because I don't care. But I probably should.
I don't know.
I probably should, right? It seems like a
Just
big
for-
deal. Like, according to
Is
the
that-
kids I was talking to today, John, the young adults I was
Mhm.
talking to today, it's a big deal. Those guys are a big deal. They care about them. They want to see the Rizzler. I'm like, what is the fascination? Well, I don't know. He eats stuff. It's funny. I'm like, what? They're like, he's a cute kid. I'm like, he's a cute kid. What are you talking about? Imagine being like 19 years old and being like, oh, it's a cute kid. I watch him on YouTube. Like, what the fuck is going on with this? It makes me wonder about the youth. When I was 19, I wasn't looking at children on YouTube. That'd be the last thing I would fucking do. You know, I'd be like, what the fuck am I doing this for? You know what I mean? This was not my type of
Well-
thing. I don't know. The generation is different, John.
Well, I'm not
I don't like
100% sure.
I don't like it.
I'm not completely sure about this, but I think Big Boom AJ, he's wrestled before.
He's got the elbow
So,
thing.
like-
I think he's an ex-wrestler, but like I think
And
he
I
said
think
in his
he's got,
promo
like-
20 years ago he wrestled.
Right, and I think he has like a past with QT. So I think there's a tie-in to why it is QT besides the challenge. So the match kind of makes sense given their history, I guess. And, you know, albeit I'm not too interested to see what's going to happen, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually build off this because they got so much press about it and they're still getting more press about it. I wouldn't be surprised if this continues in some capacity with AEW.
Yeah. It seems like a thing that will last maybe another 3 months and be over. This is an internet
crossed.
trend. I mean, this guys, come on. Really? I don't know. Maybe these guys will have long, successful careers. I hope so for them. But goddamn, their gimmick is pretty weak. You know, like watching the promo, I was like, "This is popular. People like this. Whizzle wuzzle. This is what passes for entertainment these days."
Well, I found AJ gets how to do a wrestling promo. He clearly has experience in cutting promos, so I didn't have a problem with that. It's just like you said, the material I'm not a huge fan of, and the gimmick, I'm surprised this got over whatsoever, but to each their own on that one, I guess. Somehow, some way this got over, and it has slipped its way into wrestling. again, it's on the pre-show. We don't have to watch it, so maybe we'll get lucky and get through this and not have to worry about it. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if this catches on for a little bit, anyways.
We'll see. AEW trying to catch on to it. Oh, yeah, I don't know.
They got a buzz. It worked.
Well, that's it. Yeah, no, it has worked. Well, that's it, John. Like for us, it's not for me, it's not for you, but there is an audience for this, and I think it's pretty big. So I think it's going to do very well social media wise. I think like the clip that they put out of the YouTube, like it got huge views, tons of
millions
views. Apparently. Yeah. It's outperforming anything they're doing. So okay. So that's going to be a match. I think Big Boom and AJ with Big Justice and the Rizzler will beat QT, right? I mean, obviously. I don't even know why we're picking a winner for this stupid match. Who cares? Deonna Purrazzo against Anna Jay, your favorite. Another pre-show match.
I believe Anna Jay was your favorite, but I always told you she wasn't that good. But she's slightly better now ever since she came back from Japan.
I didn't really like her for the wrestling.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, she got better at wrestling, slightly. So I think they're slightly pushing her now.
The first time I saw her, I was like, wow, who's that? And then I was like, all right, I've seen her wrestle. It's enough. We're good.
Well, I think she'll get the win.
Good for her. MJF against Roderick Strong for some stupid reason. The whole build to this match has been awful. MJF saying Roderick Strong had to win some matches and Adam Cole had to win some matches, and I just got lost along the way. I thought it was going to be a triple threat. I thought Adam Cole was going to get the match because Adam Cole versus MJF seemed like the match to make. But no, it's Roderick Strong for no reason in particular. What the hell is this? And Roderick Strong is the baby face? Even though he's been a heel for a while, I don't understand who Roderick Strong is, what his character is, like what is going on here. Obviously, I like MJF way more. MJF's promo was good this week. I like that. Another video promo, but we're just not getting enough MJF these days. He's clearly the best guy there, and they don't really have him. And now he's going to come back and wrestle, and when he does wrestle, it's in this weird story against Roderick Strong. And is he even going to win, MJF? Like, does he even win this match? I don't even know. It's hard to gauge.
I think so. No, I think MJF wins, but I think they did a good job in making Roddy like a sympathetic babyface, because MJF telling the story about Roddy's dad like getting shot by his mom.
Yeah.
Like, that's really messed up stuff. And that Roddy went out and talked about it afterwards, saying that he's had to live with that his whole life. It doesn't affect him, and MJF can say what he wants. And MJF said, like, you're going to wish you were dead, or you're going to wish that you got shot too.
Yeah, no, he said, you're going to wish that your mom hadn't have shot your dad. You're going to wish she had shot you. That's how he ended the promo. I was like, holy shit, dude. My God.
I enjoyed the promo. Like, I'm more excited for the match now. That promo, like, okay, I'm sold.
It was a good promo.
Just after that.
MJF killed it on that promo. MJF's so good, man. That's why it's like we've been getting snippets of MJF. This was the most MJF we've had on Dynamite in weeks. It was great. More of that, please. He's great. I hope he beats Roderick Strong, which is like sad, like berates him for his rough childhood and then beats him on pay-per-view. Like, how does Roderick Strong come back after that? Maybe Adam Cole gets revenge?
Maybe. Possibly. I could see that. But I think MJF wins.
Okay. Hangman against Jay White, though. Again. I'm going to go with the Hangman.
It was good last time. Yeah, Jay White won last time, so I go with Hangman for this one.
Yeah.
And probably we'll do another match again in December.
Are you interested in this story?
I mean, they got nothing else going for them because Swerve is busy doing something else, and Jay White's not getting the title shot right now. Maybe they're building up Jay White for the title shot, possibly. I don't know if they are or not. Like, I'm not sure what they're doing with Jay White. Maybe
Jay
Continental
White's
Classic.
Gonna be, like, how is Jay White the big sympathetic babyface to go up against Jon Moxley? Who's the flag bearer for AEW? Jay White? Wouldn't it be Hangman? Or at least Swerve? Who's the ultimate guy to take out Moxley? Kenny?
Out of all those choices, Kenny would be the guy, I think.
He'd make sense. But where is he?
He's got to show up. Yeah, that's a big thing.
I feel like Kenny and the Bucks are looking for a WWE deal. What's their AEW contract like? How much time they have left?
I'd be surprised if they'd leave now.
Seems like the time to go. If I were them, I would go right now.
Do they have problems with people there now? I don't know if that would work out too well.
They figure it out.
I don't know about that one.
So Hangman over Jay White. The match should be good, but I'm just not so interested in it. Like MJF and Roderick Strong. I'm not interested in Roderick Strong. Him and MJF, what's the story there? Why do I care? What does MJF gain if he wins? What does Roderick Strong gain if he wins? Who wins? What do they get? What's the stakes? There's no stakes. There's barely a story. Same with Jay White and Hangman. What are the stakes? There's nothing on the line. It's just a match to have a match. It's pointless.
Well, with Roddy, there's actually a bit on the line right there. Because remember, MJF was always trying to make fun of Roddy, and he kind of put the wedge there between Roddy and Adam Cole for a little bit until Adam Cole turned on MJF. But he made fun of him quite a bit, and of course the promo again that happened. So I think Roddy's got a bit to work on there, and I think this will help Roddy actually become a good babyface, because that's it. He's been such a strong heel. To make him a sympathetic babyface, you need a match like MJF to help do that, I think.
That he loses, though? Sympathetic babyface can't win?
You feel bad for him. Because, after all that, MJF still beat the crap out of him. Probably cheats, obviously, but whatever. That's the whole point of MJF, I think.
Well, so far, John, I'm still not interested in this pay-per-view.
Dying here. It's okay. You'll live.
Private Party, the AEW Tag Team Champions. Let that sink in. Taking on, this is a fatal 4-way tag team match for the tag team titles, so it'll be great. It's Private Party defending against the Outrunners, who are Truth Magnum and Turbo Floyd. The Kings of the Black Throne, who are Malachi Black and Brody King, and the Acclaimed, who everybody knows and everybody loves, Anthony Bowens and Max Caster. Not sure how this match will go. This could go either way, I think. It could be good. It could be horrible. I think either way, Private Party retain the tag team titles that they just won.
Yeah, it's kind of weird where I feel like the tag team champions are the weakest team in the match. I'm kind of excited for the other teams involved, except for the tag team champions involved in the match. And like you said, I think the tag team champions will win. This is their first defense, but I think it shows you how weak they are when they need 3 other teams to defend against, because there's not enough interest in them defending against just one team.
Unless it was FTR.
Well, that's it. If it was FTR and there was a bunch of other teams, the FTR just got kind of lost in the shuffle. They're better if it was just FTR. So that's why I said it was better FTR didn't get to this match.
I guess. But I think if you are going to do the one-on-one on pay-per-view, FTR would be maybe the only team that could draw something for them. You know what I mean? Private Party against any of these teams in a one-on-one match is not pay-per-view. Even this 4-way is not pay-per-view. You couldn't do Private Party versus the Outrunners on this show. You couldn't. You couldn't do Private Party versus you could maybe do Private Party and the Acclaimed. I don't think you could do Private Party versus Kings of the Black Throne. I think you could do them against the Acclaimed because the Acclaimed are established as former tag team champions in the company. You establish them as a major tag team. It's a big deal. They mean something in AEW. The rest of these teams mean nothing in AEW. The Acclaimed are the most meaningful tag team in this whole match. They matter. The other teams don't really matter. I think you could maybe do the Acclaimed versus Private Party because the Acclaimed are so over. You could also do FTR versus Private Party, but other than that, the rest of the tag team division is not super deep. So, the 4-way it is. I'd like to see the Acclaimed take the titles back. Honestly, if I had to pick, I would take that back. If I had to pick, I would make Malachi Black and Brody King the new tag team champions. They need something. They're just there. They've always just been there. I think they were trios champions for a bit when the trios champion. Those trios championships have never really meant much. Who are the trios champions now?
The Death Riders.
Oh, right. But like
they're all champions.
Yeah. All that stuff. It's like, all right, who cares? I think the tag titles mean more and have meant more and continue to mean more. I think Malachi and Brody King getting those, it just makes sense. Like, Malachi Black's whole run in AEW has been like, he disappears for 3 weeks and people go, oh, he wants out. He wants his release. He wants to go back to the WWE. His whole career in AEW has been that. And then he has to put out a statement like, oh, I'm not leaving. I like it here. He has to keep reassuring everybody that he likes it in AEW. And given his booking on TV, like, it's not hard to wonder why fans go, is he leaving or something? Because they don't really do much with him. They're kind of push and pull with him. So give him the tag belts. Like, if you're actually committed to this guy and this team and this faction and all of this, at this point, they're one of the longest running groups in AEW history. Because AEW, they start groups and then they disappear in 3 weeks and you never hear from them again. But the Black Throne thing, what's it called? The House of Black. I mean, they've been around for a while.
That's a trio. As a team, I think it's the Kings of the Black Throne, right?
Yeah. But they're still the House of Black. Even with Julia Hart, right? They got a fourth member. She seems to be coming back. Still with her spooky gimmick. I mean, I think they should give them the tag belts. I don't think they will here, but why not? If they don't, right? What's the title change on this show? If Private Party isn't dropping the belts, you don't think they're dropping the belts? I don't think they are either, but I'm not sure where the title change is. Is it Mercedes dropping to Statlander?
No.
Is Daniel Garcia winning the TNT title?
There you go.
Yeah, I guess so. Daniel Garcia and Daddy Magic kidnapped Jungle Boy, Jack Perry?
Well, one thing at a time. Like, Jack Perry kidnapped Daddy Magic.
Right. And then they kidnapped Jungle Boy, Jack Perry in revenge.
Exactly.
Revenge kidnapping.
Exactly.
2 wrongs don't make a right, Daddy Magic.
Well, I'm not saying they're great people, but that's your baby faces right there. They're not good people.
Kidnapping Jack Perry, leaving him tied up in a warehouse to possibly die? I don't know. That was what we saw in Dynamite. So now they're going to have a match, I guess, unless Jack Perry did die in that warehouse. Have we seen him since? Has he been released?
I mean, I think the cameraman eventually came to his senses and got the camera back, I guess, right?
I thought they stole the camera.
Yeah, right. And then the cameraman found the camera. I would think.
Did he?
I would hope. Lose his job, no?
I have no idea. Anyways, so Jack Perry, he doesn't have the Young Bucks with him anymore. Okada's missing in action for some reason, even though he's a champion in AEW, right? Isn't he the Continental Champion or whatever?
That starts next week, I think.
But he's a champion, isn't he?
Yeah, but the Continental Classic's only next week, though. Doesn't have to worry about it until next
Is
week.
he the international champion?
No, he's the Continental Classic champion. So
Who's the
he has to
international champion?
That's Konosuke, and he's defending against Ricochet on the pay-per-view.
Thank you. Yes. Okay, Daniel Garcia is winning the TNT title, beating Jack Perry. I think that's happening. And that's the title change that we get on this stupid show. Man, I hope we are not right about all these predictions, John. I hope we're wrong about a lot of this stuff. Because if we're right, it's going to be predictable and boring and long.
Oh, we could be wrong. We could
I
be
hope
wrong.
so.
It's AEW. It's hard to predict these matches, actually.
I am hoping to be wrong. I'm hoping. Mercedes Moné against Kris Statlander. I think we already kind of talked about it. I got Mercedes winning here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good showing for Statlander, but yeah, Mercedes with the win here. Makes sense.
Swerve Strickland against Bobby Lashley. I don't know. I'm not interested in this Bobby Lashley stuff. It's not working for me.
Oh, I enjoyed what they did on Dynamite this week. I enjoyed like Swerve attacking them. Makes sense. You can say, oh, like it's bad for babyface. Hey, it's 3-on-1. He's got to do something.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't. I don't care. I don't care. Bobby Lashley is just not over. None of them.
Oh,
are.
I disagree with that. I thought Bobby was very over. I thought the crowd was very much into the Hurt Syndicate. I'd argue that they might be more over than Swerve at some points.
I disagree. Whose
It's
house?
tough. Yeah, but you get past that, I feel like once you get into the match, people are more behind Bobby. We'll find out on Saturday, but I think both of them will get cheered quite well.
I think it'll be a very pro Swerve crowd. I think you're going to be surprised, John, at how heavy they go with Swerve and not in favor of Lashley at all. I am not enjoying Bobby Lashley so far in AEW. I know it's been a short run, but so far I'm just like, oof, next. I'm not interested. But you like it, so that's okay. You're a big Bobby Lashley fan. Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher one-on-one. I feel like Fletcher needs the win more than Ospreay does.
So yeah, this is one of these matches where I'm going with Ospreay, but you're right. They might give it to Fletcher here. This one's kind of tough, I think. I'm going to go with Ospreay. I think it'll be a great match. But yeah, I wouldn't bet on this match.
I'll go with Fletcher. I'll go the other way. I think he cheats to
There
win.
you go.
Don Callis cheating. How about Swerve and Bobby? I don't think we picked a winner. I got Swerve. I think Swerve wins.
Okay, I got Bobby, so that's interesting. That's good.
All right.
The match is different.
How about Konosuke Takeshita versus Will Ospreay for the International Championship? Takeshita won this recently. I think he holds on and beats Ospreay. I think the match will be fantastic, though. This could be match of the night. I think Ospreay, Fletcher, or Takeshita Ricochet will be match of the night.
Yeah, I agree. I think Roddy and MJF would be a very good match as well, though.
Yeah. Jay White and Hangman could be good, too.
You have
But
a
I
lot
feel
of good.
like we've seen it so much recently. Hard to...
You have a lot of potential in this pay-per-view. I'm telling you, it's worth at least watching.
Oh, I'm going to watch it, and I'll cover it, and I'll be on right afterwards, right after Full Gear tomorrow night. I'll be on live with my brother to recap all the action, give you our score on 10 on the show, give you our match of the night, and all of that. So we both got Takeshita retaining?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This match kind of got announced out of nowhere, so yeah.
Yeah. It should be good, though. And Jon Moxley, of course, in the main event, will retain. He will beat Orange Cassidy and remain AEW World Champion. And then what's next?
Oh, that's a great question.
Who's next?
We're gonna need something. We're gonna need something big to happen at the end of this pay-per-view. Something's gonna happen. Definitely, like the next challenger for Moxley is gonna need to be revealed, I think, or at least wherever the story is going needs to happen. Yeah, maybe Kenny. You like Kenny for that to happen.
Yeah. I miss him. He's a star. He's a main eventer.
The main event needs them with buzz, and like Moxley just being Orange doesn't really add a lot of buzz. So we need something you look forward to, something you want to hope for the future for. So we'll see how it all comes together.
Any word on Bryan Danielson? How's he doing?
Apparently he's enjoying the saunas, I guess, like just relaxing in his saunas. So
Yeah, that was a paid advertisement that him and his wife did. Pictures of them in the sauna. I saw that too. That wasn't like just an Instagram post. That was an ad. That was a sponsored post that Bree arranged.
well, that's
Good
good.
though.
They're
Free
making
sauna
money.
probably for Brian, so he's happy. Looks like a nice
Yeah,
sauna.
making money, enjoying life.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
Nah. That's good. It's good. But I'm just saying, at some point, don't you expect him to run up on Jon Moxley and want some sort of revenge? He said he's going to stop wrestling full time, but he never said he's going to stop wrestling. So, if healthy, I'm just saying, is there a medical update? Is he going to come? Like, is there a world where he possibly is the guy to show up after and, like, slap the shit out of Moxley after he beats Orange?
Well, he did say he was going to have to get neck surgery, right? Like, he confirmed that.
He's a wrestler.
So,
He says things.
did he get
What kind
it
of
yet?
neck surgery?
Well, that's another thing, too. Like, how long will he be out for once he gets the surgery,
Right. Maybe he's had it already and it's a minor surgery and he's fine. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? Who knows?
It's very difficult to gauge, yeah.
Yeah. I think the pop would be massive if Bryan showed up. People are not expecting him to show up.
Whenever
I'm not
it
expecting him to
happens,
show up.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be now, but whenever it happens, it'll be a big moment. And I wouldn't mind if it happens on Saturday. I think that'd be great. But I wouldn't be looking forward to it. Like, I think that we're probably a little ways off from that happening, I think. If anything, I think maybe have Adam Copeland come back at the end of Saturday. I think that's more likely, I think.
I don't think anybody's going to come back. I think Moxley just stands there sneering, champion, and everybody just goes, again. Just like the last one.
That'll be disappointing for the ending. Like, I think they need something.
I thought they needed something on the last one, but, they
Well,
murdered Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, they murdered him. Yeah, that's a good ending. I think that was one of the best endings they've ever done, actually.
Oh, God. All right. John, when's your next match? When can people see you? I know you got one tomorrow.
Yeah, I have one tomorrow at John Abbott College. It should be pretty good. If you were involved, I'd talk more about it, but they haven't got you involved yet, so I won't talk more about it. But it will be at John Abbott College tomorrow. If I can say it properly. At that college, yes. They say it's in Montreal. That's not really Montreal.
Cool. I don't need to be involved in anything. I'm involved in way too much already. I will be back tomorrow night right after AEW's Full Gear, and we'll recap the action, and it'll be a good time. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight and everybody who continues to tune in. Shout out to Angelo Contagonis. Shout out to Ray Cruz and Leor. And all the members over at join.ringsidereport.net and membership.ringsidereport.net. We appreciate you. We will be back here for you tomorrow after Full Gear to recap the action here on the Ringside Report Network.
Thanks for sticking with us to the end. We would really appreciate it if you could help us spread the word.
You know the drill. Hit that subscribe button, flip those notification switches.
We are an audience-supported network, so consider becoming a recurring supporter at membership.ringsidereport.net. Check out our website at ringsidereport.net. Hope to see you